we walked to the car. I carried my luggage, put the luggage into the trunk,
Mhm.
and then I went to the driver's side because in
Mhm.
Thailand, the road we drive on a different.
Okay.
So I was there and start wanting to open the door. And she said, I think I can drive.
Oh no.
And then I realized like, oh, it's the wrong side.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Life Exchange Stories of Understanding. I'm your host, Kelsey Ross, and today we are joined by an extra special guest. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience?
Thank you. My name is Tanya, and my Thai name, a little bit of hint there. My Thai name is Tanya Thabjan, and well, my last name is now Garrity. And I am now living in with my family in Connecticut, and I was an exchange student with YFU in 2007.
Tanya, thank you so much for joining us here today. I'm so excited to get the chance to know you and your story a little bit more.
Thank you. Likewise, I am very, very looking forward to this. So thank you for having me.
It's my absolute pleasure. And to begin with, what sparked the idea of wanting to study abroad?
When I was like thinking about like preparing for this question, I was just like, what did I wanted to do back then? Because it was a while ago, and I also have to think about what was my teenage mind was thinking about when I was
Mhm.
15 or 16. So I think it just started with, I remember noticing that many of my secondary school alums came back to talk to us, just like, a typical like advice of what do you do after high school. And then I just noticed that everyone got accepted into good universities. And there's something about them that it was like wanting me to find out more of what it is because it to me it looks like the exchange experience they had has a pretty big impact in their life, not just the academic sides of it. So that's what I wanted to do at that time, in addition to hoping that I would improve my language skills. I was just curious for myself of how could the experience change my life, and I wanted to challenge myself.
Gotcha. And is studying abroad, especially in high school, something that is common for students in Thailand?
I think that at that time, 2005 to 2010 period, it became more and more popular in
Mhm.
terms of like, a lot of students want to go abroad and study.
Mhm.
But I remember, I would say that out of maybe 900 students, in the class, we have a very big classes in
Wow.
my secondary school. Maybe I would say 10 of us decided to study abroad, and we all went everywhere.
When you were thinking about studying abroad, obviously you did end up choosing or going to the United States. Were there any other destinations that you were considering when you were looking into places to go?
Yeah, that's a great question. And again, I had to think back quite a bit of this, like, what did I wanted to do? And somehow I was reminded that at first I wanted to go to France
Oh.
because I was studying in a French program. Like we take a lot of French classes in high school,
Mhm.
and I wanted to go to France. But at that time, for YFU Thailand, there was only a few spots.
Mm.
I would say it's just two, so it became very competitive. But coming to the United States, there were like 30, so that's or more. There was quite a few of us here.
Mhm.
So that's why I decided to join and come to the United States.
Makes sense. You had mentioned that there were students coming back to your secondary school and they were talking about their experiences abroad. Did they give you any advice about studying abroad that you took with you when you were going to apply for your study abroad experience?
I don't recall that. However, I remember that after I decided to join YNFU, there was a book I read, which was pretty much like a 1 year life story of a Thai student, I believe, coming to United States as an exchange student. So it was helpful because
Yeah.
she's kind of like talk through timeline of what it's like. There was like, I believe, homecoming, and then that's like school, and it's like all of the steps. So I found it helpful to at least like manage my expectations of like, oh, these are some sort of things
Hmm.
that I will experience.
Gotcha. And I mean, there are other study abroad programs out there. Out of the ones that are out there, what was it about YFU that made you choose YFU?
To be honest, at my school, YFU has a good reputation.
Gotcha.
Like our alums, a lot of them have picked YFU, and then they tell us, and then I believe that our the teacher who was point of contact with YFU, she was also very supportive and very helpful.
Mhm.
So that's why I decided to go to YFU. I actually have my best friend in my secondary school who decided to go to a different program. And then she said, why didn't you tell me about YFU?
Oh,
Because her experience was different of how much support I
no,
have.
no.
That's why yeah, like I would say that Youth for Understanding Thailand and the program at my secondary school, it's well respected.
That's always nice to hear. Of course, being being part of it. It's always good to hear. Anyway,
Yes.
so you made up your mind, you decide you want to study abroad. I'm sure at some point you definitely had to talk to mom and dad about that.
Yes.
How did that go?
Um, I remember at dinner. So I think at that time they've known that I submit my application and I was accepted, but I haven't heard about the decision whether it's a yes or a no. And I remember they were having dinner. Then they were
Hmm.
kind of talking about something like this.
Hmm.
And then um and then I walked closer to the table, and then I sat down, and then they said, if you would like to, and this is if that's really want you to do, we will support you. And I was just like, oh, it's felt so surreal that like, yes, I want it, but at the same time I was like, what did I just do? Like what, like as a teenager, like it's like,
Ah.
okay, now I felt like now I was responsible for it. It's like, and then, that's like a process, and it takes me from that on the day I was on the plane.
Mhm.
It took a while. So like, it was like time of adjustment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And talk to me a little bit about that time of adjustment. What sort of adjusting did you have to go through, and what did you have to
Yeah.
do to get ready for finally getting on that plane?
Yeah. So, well, first there were like tons of paperwork
Yeah.
because, well, now I know, right? Because now I'm adult, but back
Hmm.
then I was like, well, I understand why like my parents have to sign permissions, and there's so many things, and also with visa application, all the documents that need to be prepared, and then like communicate that with my school. So there was quite a bit of the paperwork. But
Hmm.
in terms of like getting ready for the student like myself, I remember I attend, I believe, 2 to 3 like training,
Hmm.
just like preparation camp.
Yeah.
And that's include like language tests, talking to alumni and then, talking about expectations and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we met twice before we flew, but
Mm-hmm.
even that, I felt really prepared. But then when I got here, it's different in a good way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So yeah, then you you get on the plane, you hop off. Where did you end up getting placed?
So I was placed in Michigan. I was
Hey,
I was placed right outside of Detroit, and my host mom was a teacher at my school.
perfect. All right.
Yes.
Was Michigan, was that where you were looking to be placed? Or generally
Yeah.
when you were looking potentially, hopefully thinking
No,
about
I felt like I knew what kind of question you wanted to ask. So, um, the United States was
Mhm.
really
Oh yeah.
big. And, in movies, it's typically filmed in California, New York, big cities like
Yep.
Chicago.
Yep.
I remember people kept asking me, which state do you want to go to? And to be honest, I didn't know, I don't know so much about the country, but people keep asking. So I am just going to say Pennsylvania. I just randomly picked that up.
What?
I
Pennsylvania.
know. I'm just like, please. Uh,
All
I,
right.
yeah, and I remember my uncle. He at that time he was actually working in New York, living in the States.
Mhm.
And he's just like, oh, and my mom wanted me to have a conversation, just to make sure I know what to expect and things like that. And he did ask me, which state do you want to go to? And I'm just like I hate this question because I don't know the 50 states to pick from.
Yeah.
And it was my first time coming to the country.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I only know a few places, and I knew that I probably won't be placed in, a high rise building in New York City. And then I think at that time there was probably we start talking about what we as a secondary school students, we heard Princeton
Mhm.
University and Princeton review the
Mhm.
exam.
Yeah.
And I think I just said Pennsylvania because yeah, it's
Hey.
random.
Hey,
Yeah,
nothing but love for Pennsylvania, all right?
yeah,
Shout out to
yeah,
Pennsylvania. We love you.
yeah. Yes. And then I end up in Michigan. So
Hey,
it was good.
yeah. I mean, there's some similarities with Pennsylvania and Michigan,
Yeah,
definitely with the
sure.
winter. So there can be
Yeah.
some bit similarities there. But
Yes.
you hop off the plane from Thailand, you land in Michigan.
Yes.
What were some things that struck you about Michigan that were interesting? Like some of the first things that you really noticed that caught your eye?
Well, speaking of winter, in Thailand, we never have snow.
Mm,
And I look at the history that I could found, and I don't
mhm.
know if that it's a data back this up, but they said last time Thailand has snow was 500 years ago.
Oh,
So I have no idea. My parents had no idea. My grandparents had no idea. you know. So that's one thing. It's the weather. I remember I was very excited
yeah.
to see snow for the first time. I remember I was in my classroom and then my classmate knew I was from Thailand and I've never seen the snow and they're calling me just look, the snow outside. And I was got very excited. And then after a few days, I realized that it can be pretty dirty in the roads.
Yeah.
And I was just interesting. I thought it's always white, all the way from December and then white Christmas all the way to February. That was my imaginary. But then only 5 days and then it's just oh, it melts and it's yucky. It's just
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
okay. But I still appreciate snow days.
Oh, yeah.
I remember telling a friend of mine, oh, maybe my host mom, saying that
Mhm.
this is really cool that I get to enjoy snow days because in Thailand, we never have it. And
Hmm.
also, we have flood days. It was flooded into school. So, and that was a bigger problem.
Yeah, I would say so. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
what flood day? What happens so the whole
Yes.
school like floods and like
Yes.
what happens? What do you
Yeah.
do
And it's
they
not like day. So when it's time to
yeah,
flood, when it was time for flooding
yeah.
in like rainy season,
Mhm.
sometime it could be so bad that you cannot leave home and you have to, it's just stay. It can be weak.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
yeah, so it was something very interesting. And the other thing that I wanted to mention
Yeah.
is that I remember fresh off the plane, my host grandmother, Nami, shout out to Nami, picked me up because my host mom was not able to. She picked me up and I was just like, oh, okay, hi, feeling welcome. She handed a sign of my name. And if I remember, my host brother was there with his
Mhm.
grandma. But then we walked to the car. I carried my luggage, put the luggage into the trunk,
Mhm.
and then I went to the driver's side because in
Mhm.
Thailand, the road we drive on a different.
Okay.
So I was there and start wanting to open the door, and she said, "I think I can drive."
Oh no.
And then I realized, like, oh, it's the wrong side. So I walk around and then was a passenger.
Oh goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of the different sides of the car and the differences with the United States customs and Thai customs, that reminds me of something I had been meaning to ask and haven't had the chance to. With a lot of the Thai students, we know they're very long names for
Yes.
Thai students and for Thai people. And I
Yes.
noticed that they tend to pick really fun nicknames or
Yes.
they pick names. What is the custom behind that, or what is the story behind some of the nicknames that Thai students will pick? Or if there is one, like, could you explain a little bit about behind what is behind that?
I could try.
Okay.
Um, and I'm glad that you asked this question because I
Yeah.
think that was something that was interesting. When a baby is born, the
Hmm.
given name, it's a first name and a nickname right away. It's
Okay.
not like in the United States or English speaking country where William turned to Will or
Hmm.
Bill or Jessica turned to Jess.
Yeah.
We pick um two different names
Hmm.
and it can be related to your siblings or it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
And if you ask how or how does it work, there's no system. Pretty
Okay.
much whatever the parents want the child to be. So,
Hmm.
um, my nickname was and that means um saving money.
Okay.
So and my brother's name is Aim. Well, in English you would spell it AIM,
Hmm.
but the meaning they wanted to be was a Thai herb. So one is a Thai herb, one is a piggy bank. So I think I'm not sure why. As far as I asked to my mom of like, why do you want to name me this? And then she just said, oh, your grandma just picked. That's it. That's an executive order. Like done.
Gotcha.
Okay. And yes, it's very random. The thing that most people like to do is to have it related with their siblings. Unlike in United States,
Hmm.
typically like a baby is born when they have siblings, they have like separate names so
Hmm.
that they became independent, but we like to have our names close to each other.
Gotcha. Yeah, it
Yeah.
kind of sometimes like with siblings, maybe the parents will pick the same first letter.
Yes.
Like I
Yeah.
have cousins and they're Michael, Melissa, Mandy. So they
Yes.
have like a similar naming system, but with the same first letter, but so it's their own unique thing. But okay. That was
Yeah.
it's and I've been wanting to ask 'cause one of my really good friends when I was in high school was a Thai exchange student. And
Oh,
she had
nice.
explained this to me and for the life of me, I just could not remember why. And I remember trying to explain it to my mom and I couldn't explain it. I was like, no, it's really cool. I can't remember why though. It's like, and oh, she was one of my favorite people. Patty, if you were watching this, I miss you. I hope
Oh,
you're doing well. She was such a sweetheart. Gosh, I miss her. Anyway, so back to you, Tanya.
yeah.
So, um, so you're here, you're in the United States, and after you've learned, you're not supposed to be in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
So you're here and exploring some of the United States high school customs and tradition. What were some of the first things that were on your list to try out?
I think back then, at at my age at that time, I was open to anything.
Yeah.
Um, and I remember that I liked McDonald's
Yeah.
because it remember that because at the beginning I couldn't communicate well, and when I go
Okay.
to McDonald's, I just say number five.
Mm.
Instead
Yep.
of having to say I like fry without salt or whatever, you
Yeah.
know. So number five was easy and it was a bigger portion than the
Mm-hmm.
ones I know in Thailand.
Okay.
So it made you feel pretty full and it just feels like as a, international student, it's like worth your money because everything was pricey in the United
Mm-hmm.
States.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I remember I think I have my go-to like every time it's always number two
Mm-hmm.
or something like that. Even though that time I felt like I want, yes, number two, but no fry. But, at the beginning, I was still learning language.
Yeah.
Even though I learned English or I studied English in
Mm-hmm.
Thailand, but once I moved here, I didn't realize that, American standard accent was something that I only heard sometime in some words,
Mm-hmm.
but the English that I know has a mix of accents. Like I
Yeah.
have teacher, well, of course, Thai teacher. I also
Mm.
have British teachers. I also have Australian teachers. So it was like intertwined of how I learned English. And I remember I um I know the word advance as
Mm-hmm.
advan. So it's more an ah sound.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when I heard it here, I was like, advance? That sounds like why? It's it's A. you
Uh,
Yeah. So that was a little bit of that.
yeah.
And yeah, I think I was just, excited to be living abroad,
Mm-hmm.
being in a different country, being away from my parents for certain time,
Yeah.
and just see what's next.
Yeah. And like school clubs and sports, are they part of the school system in Thailand or are they part of more like community centers in Thailand?
So it's not as big in Thailand comparing
Hmm.
you to the United States. I would say the typical schools in Thailand, the way it's structured was we had to wear uniform.
Mm-hmm.
We had like a very rigorous academic schedule and then homework and exam preparation was like center to the student life. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
there are some students who did sports but for those who did sport and that's their focus. So they just practice and practice and take like a few classes off and practice. But for us, a typical student who was not like athlete student,
Mm-hmm.
we're more focusing on like studying, preparing for exams, getting good grades. Like I think it's a pretty typical Asian culture, I would say.
So like in the United States school system, they're integrated and you get to do them through school. Is it the
Yes,
same way in Thailand, or is it more
right.
like how in like Germany where you have to go to like a community
Mm.
area to do those sorts of things?
Yeah, yeah, just like I said, like if you pick sport, you pick sport,
Gotcha.
if that makes
Okay.
sense. And then
Yeah.
for me, I did not pick sport,
Yeah.
so I picked to study and,
Mhm.
study hard, getting good grades.
Okay.
Yeah.
So while you were on exchange, did you try any clubs or sports while you were here?
I did try soccer, and I think that was
Okay.
a good experience. Yes,
Yeah.
I had friends there, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So because my host mom was a teacher at the
Mm-hmm.
school, so she would drive me to school every day.
Mm-hmm.
So the only time I get to take school bus is when we go to practice for soccer, and I was
Yeah.
so excited. It was something so cool to me
Yeah.
because like you always see these yellow buses in movie,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't get to take that because of my host mom, but
Mm-hmm.
I was just like I enjoyed it so much. It's just the coolest thing. I don't know why, but yes.
No, I can't tell you how often we hear from other exchange students how excited they are to take the big yellow school bus. It just warms my heart. It's something when you get to do it every day, it's like, what's the big deal? But it's those
Right.
little bits of like things that you take for granted that are just so
Yes.
magical to somebody else. I think it's the magic of exchange,
Yes.
truly.
Yes.
It makes it wonderful. It makes it that's what makes it magical. And it's what makes it so cool. It's what makes all of this
Yes.
so cool.
Yeah, and I like to add it on that
Yeah.
the little things make you appreciate life and
Hmm.
like seeing things in two
Hmm.
different countries. It makes you appreciate things on your own culture and also the country that you're in. And that's one of the things that I carry until today. That, the world is so big. And yes, now I live in the States, but I still appreciate little things that I had in Thailand.
I mean, since we're on this subject, what are some things that, since going on exchange, that you've learned to appreciate more about your Thai culture and about your country of Thailand? Yeah.
Because I could not communicate very well due to the language barrier and, plus the new environment,
Yeah.
I became to be a more of a listener. And that made me listen to people more and more. And not only that, I became an observer where you know, imagine that you don't know the language, but you read from other gesture or like the expression to make sense what the other person tried to communicate. So I appreciate that, even though, there was a barrier, but I told myself to be patient. And the book that I was reading about the exchange student, they also said like, give yourself 3 months to adjust everything, and then you'll feel better. So at that time, things was hard, um, everything, but I give myself time. But I remember even like after 3 months, I still feel like I'm still not okay. What do you mean
Yeah.
3 months? And that,
Yeah.
but yet, as like a young version of myself, I'll probably
Hmm.
improve one way or the other, but I just didn't see myself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. And
I mean,
I'm
I
thinking,
appreciate Thai food much more. Like,
yeah,
yeah,
I can definitely see why. Thai food's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah. So, like, in Thailand, Thai food is very accessible.
Hmm.
Like, you can go outside, at like a small shop next to your house, and then you get something to eat. It's cheap.
Hmm.
Your parents are okay with that, or sometimes like we live in an extended family, so like my aunt will cook or my dad will cook. Like you don't really appreciate what you have, and then you sometimes take it for granted. And then when I came to the US. Like, yes, I like burgers and fries and pizza, but I could only have so much because that's not what I grew up eating.
Mhm.
And I have to learn to make my own food, Thai food, and start looking at um, recipes and asking my mom and my family how to do things. So, and back then, when to early 2000, there's not a lot of Thai restaurants.
Mhm.
Like right now, it's everywhere. And I remember living in Michigan, even though we're like right outside of Detroit,
Mhm.
it was difficult enough to get cilantro
Mhm.
at a grocery store. But now it's everywhere and they put it on everything, which I like. But then it just brings me back of just like, I remember I had to go, like, I would say 1 out of 5 had, basil, but
Mhm.
that one doesn't have cilantro. So I have to go to a different place. But now it's like, oh, you get like Trader Joe's has like great Thai food. I might not be the best Thai food ambassador, but I like Thai food from Trader Joe. Some of them, most of them actually. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's better than nothing at least.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
do in a pinch.
Yes. Yeah.
When you were touching on it briefly, you had said, the book that you had read before you came abroad, give it 3 months.
Yes.
You had said 3 months had passed and you were still were struggling. So it sounded like, there were some challenges. And of
Hmm.
course, exchange isn't always sunshine and rainbows and happiness. So
Right.
challenges do happen. Could you
Yes.
touch a little on some of the challenges that you face
Hmm.
while abroad? You had mentioned language barriers being one of them. Along with that, what were some of the other challenges that you came
Yeah.
across while you were on exchange, and how did you go about getting over them?
Yeah. So, I mean, high school was tough for everybody, right?
Yeah.
And an added layer of like, you don't speak the same language. All of your friends are new. Everything just completely different. So I need to make friends as much as I wanted to talk to them and hang out and do all those things. It's
Hmm.
hard for me to try um to like wanting to be friend or make friends. Plus, I was a junior, so a lot of students were already friends.
Mm.
And there's like a few of us who were new, and I was the only exchange student at my school. So um, it was difficult, but I remember setting small goals for myself.
Mhm.
Just like, okay, today I am going to talk to one person, and it can just be one word, you know,
Mhm.
or like today I am going to order food without pointing. It just one thing at a time. Or even like today I am going to sit by myself at lunch and that's okay.
Yeah.
Um so these small steps slowly help me adjust my mindset, gain confidence, you know, feel more comfortable in my own skills when interacting with others. And I think more importantly, something that I think back then, being a teenager, I always think about like Mean Girls movie. Like nobody was like that at my school, but
Yeah.
you want to impress others. How others think of you was the biggest thing. And
Mhm.
like sitting by yourself, you thought that, oh, people are going to look at me. That's like, what's wrong with her? Like, all sorts of those things. But because of a small goal that I had of just like, it's okay for me to sit by myself, just finish one and I'll go. I learned to eat by myself. Even until now, I'll go to a restaurant by myself. I
Mhm.
watch movie by myself.
Mhm.
I travel by myself, and it's completely fine to do anything by yourself. I would say that that day that I was sad of sitting by myself, I did not realize how much it will kind of unlock myself to be part of who I am today. So it's like,
Mhm.
it's okay. Yeah.
I, I honestly, that that give me like chills. Like I'm like in a good way.
Yeah, yeah. I know.
Like it's so like I think more people really need to hear how it is okay to be comfortable being on your own and being comfortable with being by yourself. Like
Yes.
you're not if you are happy and comfortable with yourself, you're not
Mm-hmm.
alone.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can be your own friend too.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
that's great. That's such a
Yeah.
great attitude that you have and that you
Yeah.
learned. And I'm thank you so much
Oh, yeah.
for sharing that. I mean, I'm gonna take that to heart. Thank you
Yes.
for that. That's such
Yeah.
wise advice.
Yeah, it's unlocked so many
Yeah.
potential with use, like you want to travel in a different country, but no one wants to go to this country with you, or people are just busy. Do it yourself. You make friends along the way, and it's the experience, but it's different. So I
Yeah.
think I start from that, and then I keep on doing, and next thing I know, I came to United States again, living alone, and you know make new best friend when my husband have a child here. So like you never know what that
Yeah.
will bring. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a beautiful way of thinking about it.
Oh,
It's
thank you.
yeah. I love that way. I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be that's gonna be just I want to just
Yeah.
write that everywhere. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's if you don't take anything away from this, I hope people take I mean there's so much to take away from this already, but really I
Oh,
hope people take this message away from like that away from this. I think sometimes, exchange is so exciting. There's so many wonderful things, but it can be it can be a lonely thing for
yeah.
students. It can if you take that away from this, I think it can be a lot less lonely. And you're
Yeah.
so right. You are so
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. And at a young age, you're like when I think that was the prime time of when you care so much about others,
Yeah.
right? And being
Hmm.
able to change your perspective of like, it's okay. I was just gonna sit here. I know what I need to do. I know that I have a friend in a different class. I
Hmm.
don't need friends all the time to sit at lunch with me. Then,
Yeah.
like I said, I feel more comfortable of who I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to bring it back to even more beautiful, wonderful things. I mean, there's, of course, other wonderful things that I'm sure happened while you were on exchange and other wonderful traditions that you got to experience. So, what were some other great moments from your time on exchange? I know the book that you had read while you were preparing talked about things like homecoming, and I'm
Yes.
sure prom was mentioned. Were you
Yeah.
able to experience those dances and traditions while you were on exchange?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think it was fun. I believe that I might have wore Thai costume to one of the dance.
Really?
I might. I can't remember. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was something new. To be honest, I struggle a little bit because I thought everyone needs a date
Yep.
and there needs to be flower
Mhm.
here and then the whole thing, everyone needs to sit in the limo. But then my host mother was just like, no, you just go. Enjoy it. Here are like it's like a few people who will be there. You'll be fine. I'll pick you up. And then I was like, oh, okay,
Mhm.
that's cool. I remember I started noticing more songs with famous or I remember Gwen Stefani was big.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah. So I started like, oh, like um, n- I felt like not so much of the dancing that I enjoyed, but I think
Mhm.
I enjoy people watching. And like I said before, I became a good observer of like,
Mhm.
oh, this is the songs they pick. Oh, these are a cool group that's just like dance at the same movement. Here's a couple, and it's like then there's like different parts, and it was also at the school cafeteria, like
Mm-hmm.
that sense. And then, so
Yeah.
yeah, that was my takeaway. The other thing that I want to mention,
Yeah.
something I thought was really cool. So my birthday is in April.
Mm-hmm.
In Thailand, it always falls into a holiday, and as well as school summer break. So I never get to celebrate my birthday with friends from school. I would have like neighbors or
Mm-hmm.
friends. And then here's comes April. My host mom asked, "What do you want for your birthday?" And I remember I was excited that she asked me this because I was just like, no one's really asked me, you know, like about this.
Huh.
But one thing I remember I asked, I was just like, since she was a teacher, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we have a school PA system
Yeah.
that the principal would announce different things, So
Mm-hmm.
I asked if my birthday can be announced on
Oh.
over the school PA system by the
Yep.
principal. But it's pretty common in my school. Like before I realized that, like, oh, they can do it for my birthday because they've done it to other teachers
Mm-hmm.
and students before. So
Mm-hmm.
I remember walking on a hallway when the principal, Mr. Vogt, announced it, and I just felt so special. I smiled so big that
Oh.
like no other gift would be able to compare.
Oh.
Yeah, so like the fact that it's like at school and like I don't care how other students would hear it or say happy birthday to me. I just want to hear it. Yeah. Yeah.
That's so great.
Yeah.
You and I have that in common. My birthday is the day after Christmas. So
Okay.
I never, when my birthday would come around, everyone's celebrating with their families. So if I wanted to celebrate, I'd have to do it before or after my birthday. And,
Yeah.
it was like, oh, here's all the birthdays that are happening during winter break. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, cool, thanks.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
I'm right. I get that. I know that. I
Yeah.
feel that too. But that's so special. It's so great.
It was so
I mean,
special. Yeah.
yeah, that's your day. It should be for you. And I'm glad that's
Yeah.
an on exchange. You get to have that moment for you and they get to make a big deal about on your special day.
Yeah.
Were there any other special moments or special memories during your time on exchange that really stand out to you?
I think about what's the cultural differences, right?
Yeah.
There's a few moments that I felt like this is great.
Hmm.
For example, like I said, in Thai school, or at least my school and the type of student I was, like after school, you always would prepare for exams or like college applications. You get to go to tutoring. Like it's busy. Um,
Hmm.
I remember the first weekend that I had, I was just like, the weekend felt so good. I didn't have to do any of that. Uh, so I remember somewhat struggling, like, okay, I have Saturday and Sunday. What do I do? Yeah, so I enjoyed it. And then the other thing that I like it, and I still sometimes joke with my husband of how Americans compliment it's great things. I felt like it was so enthusiastic. I remember cutting a cucumber, preparing for Thai food, and my host mom come and say, "Oh my God, this is so perfect! It's a perfect cucumber cube." Like little things like that, like this is awesome, or like you're the
Uh-huh.
best, or
Yeah.
it made you feel good. And in
Hmm.
Thailand, in Thai culture, we're not as expressed as like Americans does, but I feel
Okay.
like when it comes to positive things, why do you need to hold it? You should just
Yeah.
let people know
Yeah.
that this is good. It's nice
Hmm.
to be able to make someone's day brighter.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's like just small little things I get complimented, like,
Mm.
oh, I want to show you something.
Yes, please.
So this is a quilt that I did in class at my high school. Let me see.
Yeah.
Here.
Oh
And
my
you see in the
gosh.
middle, I said, I love you essay.
Yeah.
So this was part of the class that I took. And like this, like, so here is a clear example. I remember. So I had to do this, right? All of us have to do whatever pattern you want.
Yeah.
And I felt like it's okay. And then my friend Carly came
Uh-huh.
and said, are you using a machine? It was too perfect. And I was just like, no, I didn't. I
Wait, you
made
hand
it.
stitched that?
Yeah. No,
Stop.
but
Oh my
you were
gosh.
close. But see, this is how I got compliment. I was just, oh my God. I was just like, I like it.
Did you have any like experience with sewing before that class?
No, but it's like, what do you call it? It's different tries. So it's like, when I make it
Yeah.
too short, then I do it
Yeah.
again and then I do it again until it was okay. So yeah, that's what I did. And I had a 20 months old girl and she gets to use it. Yeah. So
Oh
it's
my
now hers. It's
goodness.
something that like um I wanted to keep it. I didn't know if I want a child or not, but I have been keeping it.
Oh
And
my
yeah,
goodness.
she's also a girl, so it's like she loves um touching on this flower.
That's
So this is what I
sweet.
did in my class. So yeah, it's like the compliment was so enthusiastic and positive, and
Yeah.
I think we need to do more of that for us these days. Yeah. So the other thing that I pick up, I felt like my friend Abby, she's now like my very, very close friend that we ended up living in Connecticut now. And she always laughed when I said, um, you guys have such a card culture. So you write cards on everything. Birthday, marriage, thank you card,
Mm-hmm.
new job, new promotion, holidays, and I like it. So
Mm-hmm.
I just made my own holiday cards because of that. Like,
Oh.
and yeah, like so now I used to it, and I didn't reflect that until my mom came to visit me, and then she started seeing cards and like seeing me writing like thank you notes and stuff, and she's like, oh, now I understand why like writing cards is still a big thing here.
Mm-hmm.
Like in Thailand, it's not as big anymore. I think it used to be big when we don't have cell phone,
Mm.
when we don't have internet, when we don't have email, you
Mhm.
write and then you send it to somebody.
Yeah.
But just a handwritten note, um, to express your gratitude, feeling. I think that's what's nice, of American culture that I have picked up, that I have been doing it until today.
I think it's
Yeah.
even a bigger side now. It's like you're paying for the postage. You're taking out the time to handwrite a message to me. That's a big deal. You walked to the mailbox or went to the post office you took time out of your day to do that for me. Like, oh my goodness, that's an even bigger deal now. My
Yeah.
gosh. No, I mean, there's nothing like getting a card in the mail. That's so sweet.
Yeah, it's a
I love
surprise
it.
when you get
Yeah.
something.
Well, and I noticed like one of the things I noticed with Thai culture and something it's Thailand I know is known for is being like the land of smiles. It's something
Yes.
and being very smiley. And I think that's something I would like to see the US adopt more of.
Oh,
I mean, not that we don't smile, but I think we could smile more.
yes.
It'd be nice to see more
Yeah, I
smiles. Like,
see what you mean.
yeah.
I think I did smile a lot
Hmm.
at the beginning when I was adjusting to everything. I didn't know what
Hmm.
to say, so I smile a lot. And I
Yeah.
think people noticed it about me. Um, and I think a lot of it is what they remember about me, which is great, right? When someone remember your smile.
Mm-hmm.
But, like post-COVID, things have changed a lot,
Mm.
where we spend a lot of time in front of the computer. Yes, I'm smiling in front of the camera, but when I go right outside, I'm just gonna go get something, come back.
Mhm.
So I did still try to like say thank you, say hi,
Mhm.
that kind of thing. Smile at the like store staff
Yeah.
who's like working so hard. Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously your time on exchange didn't last forever, but
Yes.
clearly it must have affected you enough to where you decided to make the United States your home.
Yeah.
So how did your exchange affect your life path so much that you decided to make the United States a permanent part of your life?
Well, that's a great question. And I think, like I mentioned earlier, it starts with something small, right? Like taking a small goal, sitting by myself, things start like doors keep opening,
Yeah.
right? You know where to find doors. You also get exposed to so many things. So I would say that the exchange experience has changed my path in so many ways. A lot of it, it's how I discover myself. What I like, what I don't like, what I can do, how I see the world, how do I want to live my life, and even how I want to raise my child to be. Um, so after finishing the exchange student program, I went back to Thailand and returned. I always find an opportunity to come back to see my host family. So I was able to do that. I also did another exchange program in college to go to Canada, to the University of New Brunswick. Someone want like, oh, I'm there too. So because of that, it just opening keep opening doors that you never realized that's like you could do this too, or like I didn't realize that about myself.
Yeah.
So yes, I came to visit my host family on my way to to start another program in Canada, and then I life goes on. My host family visited my family in Thailand even when I was not in Thailand. So we have a good relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they would send me a picture of like, oh, they're having dinner, my mom, my dad, my brother, and then my host mom, and I was abroad. Um, and I think that happened a couple times, and then I came back to United States in 2015 um for grad school. So I was living in DC, and I was actually volunteer for YFU, the headquarters too.
Oh,
Um,
no way.
yeah. So I did a couple things like it has impacted my life so much that I like to try to find way to give back. I did like anyway, so I can get to that part in a little bit, but I
Yeah.
wanted to tell to you how it has impacted my life. So I came back from grad school, and being independent, traveling internationally, exploring different culture and languages has become so important to me, to something that I never thought about, like having a partner. So I remember when I first met my husband, one of the picture he showed, it was him doing an internship in India. So because of that, I was just like, oh, all right. I believe that you might be, I can kind of assume that you're open mind.
Mhm.
You like to travel, you like adventure. So, and we had a great conversation, and that's what we do now. We like to explore. We like to try all kind of cuisines,
Mhm.
and um, and even today, where I am right now, working as a learning and development director for a cancer nonprofit, my work is dedicated to DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and I think my experience starting from the exchange has evolved and want me to understand and support people from different backgrounds. So yeah, I think I've gained so much like perspective on people, on the world. It has shown me that there are many ways to live, to think, to communicate. And most of the time, the differences are okay. Yeah.
Absolutely. So after you met your husband now and you had decided you had get on your study abroad in Canada, you were in the DC office volunteering. And what were you doing as a volunteer there?
I did a couple things.
Okay.
There was one year, I would say 2015, when I first got here. I was like, oh, why have you headquarters here?
Mhm.
Let's see what I can do. So at that time, I was able to review applications for the outbound students.
Yeah.
Um, so like I reviewed a paper and then we give a score and then maybe a few months after, like throughout the year, I've been involved, and then I was also interview students for a scholarship for a YFU program to go to Japan.
Hmm.
I remember interviewed two students. Both of them were great, and I gave them like the highest point. I was just like, no, you need to do this. Like they were great already, but I'm just like, I just want to use this to advocate young people to do it. And then, yeah, I think I also got in touch with the, what do you call, the area rep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So my husband and I were actually like giving like a short training about cultural differences at one point. And I think one thing that I thought that was very cool. So during COVID, well, Sean, my husband and I became host parents for the virtual program.
No way.
Yeah. So it felt so weird because back then I was not 30 yet, but then
Yep.
having a teenage student calling me mom was so weird. And then call my husband as a dad, and then it's virtual, right? So it's like
Yeah.
we'll cook and then we'll show them and stuff.
Mhm.
And after that, that student, he did join YFU when all the restrictions were lifted. And I
Mhm.
was able to hold him just for a couple days when he was doing something in DC. So
Yeah.
I always try way to give back because I think it's very important for young people to start it early. Like the world is so big. And I would say that like for students, I want to encourage you to at least try. YFU has a pretty good support system, but more importantly, I just want to encourage them to say that you are braver and stronger than you think you can do, and you can do this. And there's so
Absolutely.
much more to learn for parents. I would say that your children will be okay. It's completely normal to feel worried when your child is like another side of the world for a year or even a shorter program, but they're more capable than you might realize. And yeah, like again, like YFU has a system where if there is a problem, you can connect and get help.
Hmm.
And I think, coming from Thailand, things here are expensive. And I really appreciative of my parents to invest time, energy, and money for me to get here. But the growth, the confidence, the opportunity that I've gained, um, can last a lifetime. Sometimes I wonder if my mom realized that because of of our decision 20 years ago, the impact she might have seen might just roll out recently. So it has impact someone's life one way or the other, but for other to see it, it might take just like me, I think I was brave and I was not sure if my daughter is asking me to do the same thing, how I would feel. I would say yes, but I'm glad I did it and I would do it over and over. Yeah. And I would definitely tell my daughter to do something like this. Yeah.
If you were to go back and you were able to talk to your teenage self again in your exchange program, what words of advice would you have for her?
That's a great question. Would tell myself to just try everything and it's okay to make mistakes. Like in a sense that like I was so afraid to communicate because I was afraid that I would have accent, I would not say the right thing, and that preventing me to have like more friends or more opportunities. I mean, I did eventually have it, but then my time fell short because I took so long being shy, and by the time that I enjoyed it, all right, it's time to go. So I feel like if I can tell myself, I would still pick YFU as the organization and to do the exchange student again. And also, um, I would not change the decision, but I think I might want to change that. Like, I try whatever,
Yeah.
it's okay to make mistake as long as it's not harmful to yourself and others. Who cares, right?
Yeah.
Like, tried it. People might, other friends might judge you, but that's okay. Just like you said, you're yourself best friend. You
Mhm.
know what you're doing. You know why you're here. Why you decide to join the program. And yeah, I wouldn't regret anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think one of the questions that you asked about like how would you describe the experience in one word? So I think that mine would be my opening. So
Mhm.
not just eye opening, but it's also the mind. It has changed the way I think. It has
Mhm.
changed the way I see the world. It has changed the way I see others.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be my word.
I think that's a perfect way to describe it. I mean, it's wonderful. A similar question to how you would speak to your younger self or what advice you would give to your younger self to any high schooler who might be listening and maybe is considering going on exchange. What advice do you have for them or what message do you want to leave for them that we haven't covered? What do you have to
Okay.
tell them?
So I feel like a lot of students worry about not graduating with their friends, not graduating on time, have to come back and redo the year, X, Y, and Z.
Mm.
So here's my point of view. And I was someone like that too. I was worried. I don't want to be behind, all of those things. But when you think about your life in a big picture, right? You study from, let's say, 5 to 18 and then to college for 4 years, so 22, right? And then the rest of your life is working. So retirement age is like 67. So it's like you have 47 years to work. So if just redoing 1 year or not graduating at the same time with your friends, you're not late. So because after you're graduating, the rest is your work life. So
Mhm.
why rushing when you can do something that's beneficial for your career in the next 45 years? So that's how I felt. I mean, your parents probably would want to tell you that you shouldn't also take 8 years. You know what I mean? But if it's just a summer, half of a year or a year, you're not behind.
Mhm.
You might be behind in classroom, but I don't think you're behind of understanding who you are and what you want
Mhm.
for your life.
Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. I mean, I totally agree. And I mean, your life is so short as it is. I mean, hindsight's 2020. And at that age, you don't even realize how short it is.
Yes.
And when you have something that can open your mind, as you said, and change your life, in such a dramatic way. Why not take that? Why not take it? Why not take advantage of that opportunity?
Yeah. And also, like, when, let's say you have to redo your year, you have more friends.
Yeah.
And then once you get to college, you will have more friends.
Yeah.
You'll learn about other people. And, you know, at colleges or university, there's all types of people.
Yeah.
And it's your strength that you know the cultural differences. You're aware, you can make friends, you know, you're open-minded, and I think that will make you succeed, not just in college, but whatever you do.
Yeah, absolutely. To kind of wrap this up with a pretty little bow, Tanya, we've touched on the inspirational, the sad, the wonderful, but is there a funny memory from your time on exchange that you remember that stands out to you that you'd like to share?
I feel like it was the driving side was
that is
the,
pretty funny.
Driver's side was pretty funny. Oh, I remember. So, you know how I learned to be enthusiastic about complimenting others? The babysitter of the family took me to hang out with her friend, and I thought that you need to say positive things, which is just like in a certain extent, it's true, right? And I was just like, oh, he has a very beautiful eyeballs. So, and then the baby sister Erica was telling me, "Oh, you mean eyes?" And in my head, I'm just like, "No, eyes. It's just like this part, but I meant eyeball." So, and then I learned that it's like, okay, you just call those eyes.
Yeah.
So, her friend has beautiful eyeballs. That's what I remember.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to compliment someone's beautiful eyeballs. And don't be afraid of a cultural misunderstanding. They're going to happen. It's okay.
Right. It's okay. And it's something you will remember. And I think even though the person might feel a little strange hearing that, but it was a good conversation. It was an icebreaker, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
They smile, I smile. We're all good. Yeah.
And who knows? Years later, you'll be laughing about it on a podcast.
Yes, who knows? And it's like, it's a great story. I know we're wrapping up, but I just want to express some gratitude to my host mom specifically. Looking back, it was not easy to have your children. Life go on, like, your personal life.
Yeah.
And plus teacher, right? So it's like a lot of things going on and hosting me. I grow a lot from there. I appreciate everything she did for me, and I am still grateful that I was once her oldest daughter. And it's not easy to just manage your personal life and also a new addition of your family, but you did it all, and I would not change anything. There was ups and downs, but it taught me so much of how I could be a better adult in the version I am, especially now I have a daughter. So, Amy, I love you, and I am looking forward to see you. We have been seeing each other yearly, every summer. She would come visit my daughter. This summer, she came and she met my mom and my brother here, and it just like a very, like, my house was full.
Have you ever thought about bringing the world into your home?
With YFU USA, hey, that's us. You can. By hosting an exchange student, you'll experience a new culture right in your own home.
It's an incredible opportunity to make lifelong connections and help a young student discover the American way of life.
Visit yfuusa.org to learn more about how you can become a host family today. Well, that's beautiful. And thank you to your host family and to all host families out there for absolutely everything that you do for our exchange students and for all exchange students. You have no idea the transformational, life-changing service that you're doing for these kids. We hear it just from talking to students after their programs and during their programs, but I mean, you are changing lives by what you're doing, and especially when you're in the thick of it and maybe things aren't going so well.
Right.
You're juggling all the responsibilities of everything. It can be hard, and customs and cultures may be different in how they show appreciation, but I hope you know how much these students appreciate what you do for them. And just thank you. Thank you so much, host families.
Yes. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you all the host family. I'm very grateful, and I just want to emphasize that the impact that you make in someone's life might not be visible right away, but it's being carried through the student's life one way or another. And for me, I didn't realize how much you've done until I became a virtual host family and hosted for a short period of time and having my own child. So yeah, you all very kind. And I would like to thank all of host family to just open doors for these international students to come to your house.
What a beautiful, beautiful note to end this on, Tanya. Thank you so much for your story, for your time, for your wisdom, and just for being yourself. I can't thank you enough for sharing this moment with me. And for people who may want to keep up with you or may want to have questions to ask you, are you on social media publicly? Is there anything that you have coming up that you may want to plug?
So, I think the best way to find me is through my LinkedIn.
Okay.
It might be a little old-fashioned. I don't have Snapchat. I don't have TikTok. So you can reach out to me anytime, whether you're a student, whether you're parents, whether you're wanted to be host family or anybody. You can type Tanya Thabjan. And it should pop up.
Perfect.
If not, I mean, you should also verify that I listed YFU as part of my experience. So just make sure that Tanya Thabjan with a YFU experience, then you'll find me. And actually, because of that, my coworker at my organization reached out to me and said, "Oh, you did YFU?" So I have two more people at my organization who did YFU reach out to me, and we had a conversation.
It gets bigger and bigger, this international family.
Yes. So you reach out to me on LinkedIn with any questions. I'm here, and I want to be helpful for those of you out there as much as possible.
Thank you so much. And we will make sure to have a link to Tanya's LinkedIn in the description of the episode notes so you can find her. And hopefully you all will be able to connect with her and keep up with her story and be able to ask her questions. She is a wealth of information and very willing to help any of you out there with all of that. Tanya, again, thank you so much for your time and sharing your story and sharing your wisdom. It was so impactful, and it was such an honor and a pleasure to spend this time with you.
Well, thank you so much, Kelsey. I'm glad that we had a conversation, and I'm glad that I could be one voice who can be helpful for YFU.
Thank you. And this has been this episode of Life Exchange Stories of Understanding. I've been your host, Kelsey Ross. Until next time, bye. Listen to Life Exchanged Stories of Understanding now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts.